Welcome back to 11 Alive News at 4.
Yeah, so Smith's mother is telling 11 Alive that baby Chance was born prematurely on Friday by emergency C-section. He weighs about 1 pound, 13 ounces, and right now he's in the NICU. Well, April Newkirk says that the joy of her grandson is shadowed by the gut-wrenching pain of saying goodbye to her daughter. She told us last night that doctors would take Smith off life support today at 2 o'clock.
Doctors declared Smith brain dead nearly 4 months ago after she suffered a medical emergency linked to blood clots in her brain. Her case drew national attention, raising questions about Georgia's heartbeat abortion law. Doctors cited that as the reason to keep her alive. Smith's family has expressed concern about the quality of care they say she received at Northside Hospital, where she first went for help, but also Emory Midtown, where she was on life support.
That's right. So we wanted to find out whether they have any recourse against the hospitals or the state here. So 11 Live's Molly Oaks, she spoke with a personal injury attorney. Molly, we know you're joining us live now from Emory downtown. So the state attorney general here previously said that Georgia's heartbeat law should not be guiding this case. Will that play into any legal action here?
Well, candidly, Faith, he said the Attorney General's opinion really won't matter in court. He says right now that law has a ton of questions surrounding it, and he says he thinks it needs some intense scrutiny and changes. When Alex Weatherby heard what happened to Adriana Smith,
I was shocked. I mean, it's a really tragic situation. I have 2 daughters of my own, and so as a father, my heart goes out to them. Because it's just horrific.
He's a medical malpractice attorney.
And then under the nature of the circumstances, it's unfathomable.
The family previously told 11 Alive their concerns about months of medical bills. Here's what he says they could do legally.
Essentially, you'd be looking at a civil lawsuit to try to recover some medical bills, expenses, pain and suffering, things like that.
He says there are 2 things the hospitals could have done wrong.
One is, did they release Miss Smith without performing the proper exams to determine if she had blood clots and could have stopped this altogether? The second is, once they had failed to do that and she already had the blood clots and now was on life support, did they have to maintain her life according to this law?
Another question, what problems does he see with the state's law?
The existing law is definitely unclear, in my opinion. It essentially was written with the common exceptions that we hear about in political fodder, rape and incest, life of the mother.
Weatherby says changes need to be made to get some answers.
For me, it raises whether the exceptions are enough to encompass all the situations that expectant mothers and young childs may find themselves in. And are we protecting doctors and protecting human life or not?
So Molly, we've heard from the Smith family about the tremendous pain and suffering that they've endured. Is that something the attorney thinks could come into play in court here?
Well, Faith, yes and no. So Georgia has something called the impact rule. And the attorney says that basically means for you to recover damages from something, it has to physically happen to you. It can't happen to one of your loved ones. So while he says it can be brought up anecdotally in court to help build their case, it's not something the judge would rule on.
Yeah, it is a complicated case, one that will certainly set precedent for future cases. Molly Oak, live for us. Thank you so much.